Hello guys, this is Big A Johnson 37 and I am going to be starting to do a little franchise mode on MLB 13 The Show, and here I was scrolling up and I didn't really know what team to pick. I wanted a team that was decent but wasn't amazing, or a team that I could send the entire season and make it to the playoffs. So I was scrolling up and I looked at the Athletics. I wanted to do those, but I decided against it. And as you see, I'm scrolling up more and I come on the Yankees. And the Yankees were my favorite team growing up, and I realized that they're getting older and progression happens, and actually after the first season, many players like A-Rod and Jeter, they decrease. Their player rating goes down a lot. So I wanted to do them, and here I'm going straight to trade. I was going to do some trades, and at first I was trying to get Bryce Harper, and I couldn't get him for anything. And I really wanted Bryce Harper. I wanted some young guys to come in and play, and so I ended up scrolling through, and I wanted to trade Robinson Cano. And the reason for that is you will see later in the video, and I'm just scrolling through, seeing what I have and seeing what I can get for who, and yeah. So I'm going through, just looking to see if I can get anything for anyone, big names. And surprisingly, Cano isn't a big, he doesn't have a whole lot of trade value, which surprised me. I didn't really get that, but oh well. And I was gonna do Tulo, but I saw that I had pretty good Eduardo Nunez behind Jeter, and I knew that he would progress, so I decided against it. And I realized that I can use A-Rod and Jeter this year, but I won't be able to next year. I mean, they're going to be pretty bad next year. And then I see I could trade up, and I knew that David Ortiz would, be bad in a couple years, but I just decided to do it. I mean, I'd like to see Ortiz in a Yankees jersey, so I did it and traded Teixeira for Ortiz. I like his power aspect, and at this point I was scrolling through to see if I can get any trade ups or anything for Ortiz, and he didn't have much trade value, so I didn't end up getting anybody. So just looking, and yeah, I kind of wanted to rebuild the Yankees because I knew that they were really good, and well, they weren't really good, they're pretty good, and well, I mean, I knew that next year it's going to be rough for them, but I just wanted to go ahead and try it out. And I mean, in a few years, once guys start to really go down, Yankees can pretty much get whoever they want from free agency, so that was a plus. And right now I'm looking for third basemen to replace A-Rod. And I'm just scrolling through, just looking. And A-Rod has absolutely no trade value whatsoever, so it was tough. So, yeah. Just scrolling through, seeing if I could get a trade for anyone. I mean, anyone. I didn't really care at this point. I was just looking. And I saw I could get Aromas Ramirez, but I'd be better off with A-Rod, really. The one thing that I really don't like about this game is, I mean, the player rating, if they're, like, old, it drops dramatically. Like, they become awful in 1 year, and I don't really agree with that. And at this point, I was trying to see if I could get anything for Manny Machado. I knew he was young and really good, so I was just scrolling through seeing if I could get anyone for him. And I could not. And another reason I picked the Yankees was because they have really good pitching, and that could come in handy. And right now, I was looking to see if I could get anyone at third base for Mariano Rivera. And I look at, never mind, sorry. So I'm just scrolling through, and he doesn't have a whole lot of trade value. Here I'm looking at shortstops to replace Jeter, and I can't find anything. But I mean, at the end of the video, you're going to see that I got some pretty big trades, and some of you might argue that it wasn't smart, but, you know, this is my franchise, and I wanted to go this way, and yeah. So, I was kind of building from the ground up, trying to get some young guys. And you'll see that I do. And I see Yasiel Puig, and I immediately want him. So I trade Robinson Cano for him and get the trade. And I know that some of you would say that that's terrible, terrible trade, but I like that trade. I like that. You know, he's going to be coming up. He's going to be easily campaign for an MVP if he keeps up what he's doing in the near future. And I began to look at my outfield and all. I traded away Ichiro because I really did not like him. And then I ended up putting D. Gordon on there and eventually Elian Herrera at second base. And I got another shortstop. And I got Ichiro away, so that's good. I didn't actually think I was going to get more players, which is good. Turned out good. And I offered the trade, and it's accepted. So I go back to the trade. And I'm looking at my outfield, really. Well, right now I'm looking at the overall everyone. And, you know, I'm liking what I'm seeing at the end of the video. I have an idea of who will be playing at what position. So, and right now I'm trying to trade away Curtis Granderson, looking at any left fielders. Just scrolling through, seeing who I look at Melky Cabrera, but I decide against it. Look at Alex Gordon, decide against it. Yoenis Cespedes, I would really have liked to have him, but couldn't get it. And then I look at Dominic Brown. And I like that he's young and is pretty good. And I go back and look at it again in a second. I look at Carl Crawford. I liked that, but I think I got the better deal. I look at Dominic Brown, and I put John Mayberry Jr. on it too, and I got both of them for Curtis Granderson, and I thought that was pretty awesome. So right now, I'm looking at my outfield. I got Yasiel Puig, Dominic Brown, and John Mayberry Jr., all young in the outfield. And now I'm looking to trade away Brett Gardner for maybe a third baseman, and I get Will Middlebrooks. And yeah, pretty good lineup right now. I look to see if I can get anything else, look at my overall, who I have, and everything, and I like the way it's looking. I'll probably have Jeter at short, and then D. Gordon at second, or Eduardo Nunez. It depends, really. And yeah, see you guys.